But basically, having this done, now imagine once we have our... Ooh, that might be a little bit too much of the good stuff, actually. Let's just go ahead and select this. Oh, let's deselect these. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to... Let's deselect this one. I'm going to merge this in. Scale this in. And I'm just going to like... turn off target while toggle. Move this a bit closer. There we go. And the goal about this is that when we have our high poly, what you will see is you will see like a little seam sitting in there. I'm just going to select this one edge over here and I'm just going to move it back because else we have some weird clipping. So now of course remember, from a distance this is what you will see. So you will just see like a little bit of like a cylinder with like a little clip on top of it, and from that you can introduce that there will be like a flipping. And then what we can do inside of Painter is we can just place like a little construction line around here to give it the effect that you can bend it. So that's basically what we will be doing. We can now, for example, save a scene. Let's press Alt-I. Oh, are we ready for the high poly? No, we still need to do the handle. Sorry, I was going to make the high poly, but we still need to do the handle, though I don't really like that handle. Maybe there is... do we have place for two of those? No, it would be better if we just make one big handle. Let's make something like this. This looks a little bit more interesting. So yeah, let's go for something like this. So let's just start with these hinges. So it looks like it's just a cube. I'm going to save my scene and I'm just going to go ahead and press Shift A. So let's go ahead and Shift A and let's create a cube. And this is going to be for like the little hinges that we have. So we only need to make one of them. Nice and easy. Let's move this over here. Okay, let's decide for like our scaling. So I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. Squash it a bit. Let's make the overall thing a little bit smaller even. There we go. Hey, that actually fits quite nicely. So we will have a hinge here, and then just have the thing hanging below it. So, knowing that, let's move this up. Let's go ahead and do like a face select on this side. Let's go ahead and move this in here. Yeah, let's extrude this out and let's then do like a Ctrl R in between here so that we can now extrude these two pieces. And press Q. Because once again you cannot do a normal extrude. You just need to press Q and extrude face along normals and then you are able to do it. There we go. So we got like a little piece over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make these corners round. So select them. Let's do Ctrl B. That feels, see, this bevel does not feel correct. It feels like a little bit stretched. Then you want to press Q and reset the transforms. And now when you try again, see, now the bevel is correct. So, although I do want to go ahead and make it a bit bigger. There we go. So yeah, just a little trick. I'm going to select these pieces. I'm going to inset them again. Just move it back so that we automatically create like a little bevel here. We've done this so many times by now. These pieces I want to first of all decide how far in we want to be, something like this. We can change it later on, but let's just see how far you want to extrude this out. And then just press Ctrl B. Maybe give it like an extra segment. Just use your scroll wheel. There we go, nice and round. And now just do Ctrl R and just place like 3 of these edges. And you can use your scroll wheel you can use your scaling to maybe scale them out a bit. Press Ctrl B again. Here we go. And once you've done that, it's just a matter of selecting these inner sides. And I think I just want to stop it over here. I think that should be fine. Actually, you know what? Let's do a Ctrl R and let's actually place one edge a bit lower so that we are actually going to stop this over here. Q, extrude faces along normal, and just like insert this in. And then what we can do later on is we can like map the other cube on it a little bit. So for now, that's like a decent low poly. I think turn on quick pivot. There we go. But yeah, I think that's good. We can, of course, in our texture, we can like add some screws here just to really attach it to the surface. So you would have this one. You would then probably go ahead and like duplicate it here. This is just for measuring mostly, because I think what we want to do is probably just do another symmetry on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and now create the handle. So mesh cube, scale this, scale down even more. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make this one quite thin. I'm gonna end it halfway with the last edge over there and halfway with the last edge or face over here. There we go. Select the inside and let's go ahead and just move this. I'm gonna move it up until probably this point. I think that's a good point to move it. And then this one we just want to go ahead and make like slightly thicker than this final edge. And now we can just go ahead and do a quick pivot, move this down. So this is where the solid piece starts, and now all we need to do is just do like an extrusion. But I think we want to wait. Do we want to wait with extrusion until later? Now, you know what, let's do it now. Let's go into edit mode. Place your 3 segments here. Scale them out a bit more. Ctrl B. Don't worry, we can move these later on. Basically what we want to do now is we first of all just want to go ahead and do like a Shift E. And now the goal for us is to select. Let's go to vertex mode. Select each piece. Oh, looks like we need to scale it down a little bit. Here we go. And once you've done that, yeah, let's select like each 2 faces and just scale it down a bit so that it actually fits. For this one, I probably want to go ahead and select it again. There we go, move it in the center. It's like these 2 faces. Scale those in a bit. I think for this one, I also want to just go ahead and select this and move this a bit more in the center. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's select the top, just move it like a little bit up, like that. And now what we're going to do is we basically are going to clean up this mesh, because I do not want to have all these edges left over here, because that will be a pain if we need to extrude this all the way along. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, select these corners and press Ctrl B and just give them like some roundness, just like in our reference. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and press Ctrl R, and you want to already place like an edge here. So this is going to create like this breakup edge, but we can actually use this edge to press Alt I. It's a lot easier if we do this while being able to see it. Now looking at this, can we ever even see the backside? I don't think we ever can. So just to make things easier, I'm just going to select one face here, press Shift G and do coplanar, or of course go to select. Select similar and coplanar, whatever you want to do, and delete it. Now, the reason why we place this edge is because we want to do a target weld toggle, and we are simply going to merge all of these edges into this one. Now, this will completely break whatever is above here when we turn this into high poly, so we will need to do that by hand. But it will still save time in the long run, and especially for these pieces, these are not broken, because that's why we placed that one edge there. So we just want to go ahead and merge these. There we go. Okay, Alt U. And now it's just a matter of, first of all, creating the base shape, and then we can later on like extrude the edges out of it. So for that, it's turn off target weld toggle. I always forget that. I always forget to do that. But anyway, select this, Shift E. And this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate this 45 degrees. I think that's the best option. So 45 degrees. And then what I want to do is I want to move this corner over here on top of the other corner, like this. And now hopefully I can move this out. Okay, that's already not working the way I wanted it to. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus first on this edge over here. So Shift E again, and then just scale this flat. 0. There we go. So, and this will be like symmetry. So I'm just gonna kind of like leave it over there. Press delete, because we don't need that back face. Let's try that again. Okay, so this one. Maybe what if we move this down? I just want to see if we can get like an even... There we go, we're getting closer. I just want to see if we can get like an even bevel. That feels very thick. I feel like if we would go this route, we would need to make this quite a bit thicker. But it wouldn't be logical for us to make it that much thicker. It is actually quite thick now, and look at it. So we probably want to go ahead and have this piece thinner than this piece. So this piece is more like sitting here. And I don't know, I don't think we can actually... Yeah, I think that it wouldn't really matter if we scale that in. So if this piece is going to be thinner, then this should actually be fine. It just looks silly. I don't like that it looks a bit silly. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and select all of this. And let's see if I can like... How far do I need to scale it down for it to stop looking silly? Let's move these pieces. Oh wait, we cannot. We need to move these individually. Just have a look at it from a distance. Oh, that's always quite important. Let's move this up a little bit. Yeah, I think we're almost there. Let's move this down a tiny bit. Yeah, let's go for something like this, which means that on this one, I think the easiest thing for us is to actually still scale this down. And then to just go ahead and select these outer vertices. And scale those, not that one. And then scale those up again to kind of like compensate for the scaling that we just did. Because we still want to keep this nice and round. So, there we go. How's that? Turn off wireframe. Yeah, okay, I think that's better. So now if we would place an edge all the way around here. So we got that one. Let's place an edge around here and around here. Now don't forget, in these pieces we most likely want to move this one a bit closer. Oh no, then it doesn't come even. Let's leave it this thickness. And instead, so this edge, it just kind of like loops around here, which is not ideal. So I don't really want that. So I'm just going to select it. I'm going to then deselect all of these edges and then just press Ctrl backspace because we don't need those. Instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to press K and we are just going to connect these over here. There we go. And another thing is select these bottom edges and just like move them up a bit because we want to make sure that it has the same thickness all the way around. Okay, so we got that one. I'm going to press Ctrl R and I'm going to select this edge, flatten it. Yeah, it's always tricky when I'm making stuff up for the most part because, yeah, this is a little bit of improvising. That's where it becomes a bit more tricky to explain things because, of course, yeah, there's so much thought process. Like, I need to focus on the modeling, I need to focus on explaining you guys, I need to focus on what I am actually making, and all that stuff combined just becomes quite a bit. So, if I sometimes fall silent, I do apologize. I'm going to place an edge here and scale it flat. Let's move it over here. Let's do Ctrl B. There we go. And I'm going to place an edge here, scale it flat. Move it over here. Ctrl B. There we go. Just to make our life easier, I'm not going to do anything in here. So now what you can do is you can select these edges. And you can just Shift E and just move those in. Like that. And maybe, do we want to give this like a bevel? Let's see. Yeah, I think it would be beneficial if you just give it like a little bevel. I know this might not be the best way of doing it, but right now just like feels like the quickest way. There we go. Okay, so that will do a symmetry there. That's fine. So if we just delete this one and just press Ctrl J for these for now and turn on edit pivot. Turn on our vertex or our vertex are snapping. Just snap this to like one of these edges. Turn off snapping and edit pivot, and let's just add our mirror modifier. And let's just set this to like 0.05. Ooh, 0.05 is way too much. 0.01. There we go. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Turn off our wireframe toggle. Let's see. Now it's just a matter of playing around with it, seeing if like it works better if we like make it a bit. Yeah, see here, if we make it like a little bit longer, it does give me like a better look, I would say. And let's see if what if I make this like a little bit thinner. This is not going to be final. It's just me. Okay, so making it thinner does actually look better. But of course over here that becomes a little bit tricky to do. So maybe we just, yeah, here it's fine if we just make this a bit thinner and this one is a bit thicker. That often gets done anyway. I don't know if there's maybe an example here where it gets done. Also, if you want, you can also of course make a different handle like over there. Well, actually here it actually is being done, as you can see. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. That's looking good. So I think what we can do now is we can just go ahead and we can start by turning these into high polys. Or do we first need to duplicate them over? I guess what we need to do is we just need to duplicate them over. But yeah. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to first turn them into high polys. And then I'm going to duplicate the high poly and low poly at the same time. I think that will be the easiest way for us to do this. Or of course, if you want, you can combine it to your mirror. But I do not like combining this many models. So, knowing all of this information, I'm going to save my scene. And in the next chapter, we will start by first turning all of these into high polys. Then what we will do is we will select the low poly and the high poly for like these slots. And then we will at the same time duplicate these all over the place. And same for this one, we will just then go ahead and duplicate this on the other side. That's the plan. So let's save our scene and let's continue with that in the next chapter.